You have something that can help people. The service, the knowledge, the expertise, the products that you have help people. And by keeping it to yourself, what you're actually doing is being selfish. You are not putting your help out into the world. And when you reframe it like that, you realize that your customer needs you to show up for them. Welcome to Girls Make Bank, the podcast show for women who want to learn the art of selling for business and for life. I'm Jack White, seasoned sales professional, entrepreneur, and owner of Honeybees Group. Come back each week to hear inspiring stories from some of our favorite business owners. Learn how to take the ache out of selling and make bank. We're all in this together, so let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Make Bank, the podcast where we are all about teaching you how to sell with confidence, authenticity, and ease. I am your host, Jack White. Today, we're talking about something that can make or break your business. It is something that I struggled with for a very long time and still dabble in struggling with, and that is the topic of visibility, okay? Because let me be honest with you. People can't buy from you if they don't know you exist. And like myself, so many women struggle with the idea of putting ourselves out there. We feel like maybe we're not experts enough. We are worried about what people think. We have this little voice inside of our head that says, "Who are you to talk about this with anybody?" Does that sound familiar? Because that is me. And today we are going to be talking all about visibility, why it is non-negotiable in growing our businesses, how to push past the fear of being visible, and we're going to talk about one thing you can do this week to bring visibility to your business. All right. First things first, what does visibility even mean and why does it matter in sales? 3 points I'm going to talk about. Number one, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. Have you ever heard that phrase, know, like, and trust? It's kind of like a very simple version of the sales funnel. But the know piece is at the top. That's the awareness piece. And if they don't know you, there's no way they can like you or trust you. It's basically as simple as that. People have to get to know you in order to build that likability, to build that trust factor, so that ultimately they can buy what you have to sell. So think about it. When is the last time you bought anything? Big purchase, small purchase, a product, a service, hired someone to do something for you. Chances are you did a lot of research before you made that buying decision. So you came to the buying table probably with a referral from a friend or a trusted source. You looked them up on social media. How many Instagram followers did they have? If it's a professional service, I'm sure you found them on LinkedIn and sort of stalked their profile a little bit. You looked at reviews, you looked at their website, you did a ton of research. And guess what? When someone wants to purchase from you, they're doing that research too. And so it is your job to be where your potential customers or your potential clients are. You have to show up, you have to be consistent. Number two, even the best products, services, and offers will be a flop. You will hear crickets if nobody sees it. Okay. Crickets. No money, no sales, nada. And I see this all the time. I've talked about it before on the podcast. There are so many business owners who work really, really hard to build their brands, to get the perfect packaging, to develop these very amazing offers, to, you put so much work up front into building what it is you do. And then you just put it out there with like not even a splash. You don't tell anybody that it exists. Nobody knows that you're there. And so what happens? Nothing. Okay. Selling isn't just about the product and the service. You also have to make sure that the right people it exists. And that's why visibility is really important. So, the third thing visibility can do in your business is it can actually build authority for you. So, remember that know, like, and trust? Authority can actually tie into trust. And so, when you show up consistently, people, whether rightfully or wrongfully, they assume you're an expert. And we've seen all kinds of that happening on social media right now, right? All of these pseudo experts claiming to know something about something when really they know nothing, but they are showing up. Okay. And so you have to show up consistently because let's use this social media example, right? Maybe these people don't know as much as you. Maybe they aren't delivering as good of results as you do, but you know what they are? They're the most known. And do you know why? It's because they're showing up. They know the power of visibility. So the bottom line is if you want to sell more, you need to be seen. Now, if you're like me, and this is where I was in the not too long ago past, you're thinking, I'm not ready to be seen. I'm afraid of putting myself out there, and I am not comfortable with my opinions and my voice and my face being out into the ether, right? That feels scary. It feels uncomfortable. You have self doubt. Well, that is where imposter syndrome comes in. Okay. And I want to address this because I think it's one of the biggest reasons that women hold back from showing up. Okay. Imposter syndrome is that nagging voice that says you're not good enough, you don't know enough, somebody is already doing this and they're probably doing it better. And guess what? It is very common. Every woman I know has dealt with imposter syndrome at some point in her life. It is common. If you are feeling this, I want you to know you're not alone. Even the most successful women I know still sometimes deal with imposter syndrome. If you didn't listen to Samatha Skey's episode, I interviewed her for Girls Make Bank. She's the CEO of SheMedia. Absolute, like someone I look up to. She just is a girl's girl. She talked about imposter syndrome and she reframed it for me in a way that just changed my perspective on it. Okay. And what she said, go back and listen to the episode. I'm going to break it down for you. She said that imposter syndrome is basically just another label that we put on women to make them feel small and to keep them in a box, to basically put us in our place. All right. Because when we feel like we're not good enough, we don't shoot for the stars. When we feel like nobody wants to hear what we have to say, we don't speak up. And so I go back and listen to that, but really think about where that imposter syndrome comes from. And let's talk about 3 ways that we can try to overcome it. Okay. So the first way, number 1, is I want you to recognize that you don't have to be the best to sell and to do what you do. You don't need to be the best. All you need is to be a few steps ahead of whoever it is you're helping. Okay. Why do I say that? Because we all strive, we all want to be the best. What I'm telling you is you don't have to be the top expert. All you need to do is know more than the person who's hiring you. So think about it this way. If you are in a room full of people, right? 100 people in the room, and everybody is trying to learn about, I don't know, Instagram, let's say. You might not know the most out of everyone in the world about Instagram, but if you know more than anybody else in the room, you have something valuable to provide. All right. So remember that when you are feeling imposter syndrome, like you don't know enough, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be the best. You just have to know more than the people you're helping. The second way to overcome imposter syndrome, and I talk about this a lot, action builds confidence, not the other way around. What does that mean? There's a lot of sort of mindset, wishful thinking, just dream your way to success out there. And I do believe in goals. I do believe in the power of positive thinking. I do believe that you should set a vision for yourself and envision yourself being successful. But I don't think that the confidence comes first. I think you build confidence by taking action and doing the thing, right? Action creates the transformation. Post something for the first time, create a video, go pitch, do that uncomfortable thing that you've been avoiding. And I can promise you that the more you do it, the easier it gets. The easier it gets, the more success you will have at it. And the more success you have, the more confidence you will gain. Okay? So the confidence comes from doing the thing, not the other way around. The third thing I want you to think about when you feel like you have imposter syndrome and you don't want to be seen is I want you to reframe visibility as a service. Today, we had one of our sessions with the Honeybee Sales Circle, which is my private community for female entrepreneurs who are really trying to step up their sales game. And we're building sales systems and sales funnels within their business. And one of our members said that she didn't want to start an email newsletter because she didn't want to bother people. She didn't want to like show up in their inbox because she didn't really think that they wanted to hear what she had to say. And that really struck me because a lot of us worry about posting because we don't think anybody cares or we don't want to bother people. And I want us to think about flipping that script in our mind a little bit, okay? Because you have something that can help people. The service, the knowledge, the expertise, the products that you have help people. And by keeping it to yourself, what you're actually doing is being selfish. You are not putting your help out into the world. And when you reframe it like that, you realize that your customer needs you to show up for them. They need to see your message. They need to get your email. They need to get your Instagram reel. They need to see you on LinkedIn. So instead of asking yourself, who can I talk to about this? Who is going to want to listen? Why am I doing this? I want you to ask yourself, why am I not doing this? Who loses out if I stay silent? And the answer is number one, you. You lose out. But the other answer is that all of the people that you could be helping miss out. Even if they don't buy from you, just by you putting yourself and your content and your ideas out there, they are missing out. All right. So let me tell you a little story about myself. Let me tell you a little story about Jack, who for a long time, I was really, really afraid of putting content out there. And I've talked about it before. 2025, my word is uncomfortable because I'm doing all of the things that I was afraid to do before. And being visible is one of those things. Now, why was I afraid? Well, I thought I had to share a lot of personal information in order to be visible. I didn't like showing up online. I didn't think anybody wanted to hear from me. And so I challenged myself to create content and put it out there. And I wanted to give myself permission to not be the best at it, but I wanted to create a platform where I could share my ideas about sales with women and help them sell within their businesses better. That's the genesis of Girls Make Bank. That's what I've been posting about on LinkedIn. And let me tell you the transformation that I've experienced in my business over the last short 6 months. I have multiple connection calls or consult calls every single week. Just yesterday, my old neighbor, who I haven't seen in quite a few years, texted me and said, I am thinking about leaving my corporate job and I think I'm going to start my own consulting company. And I've been listening to your podcast every single week. And I just want you to know that you are giving me the confidence and the tools and the understanding that I can actually launch my own business. That is life changing for her. Okay. I want you to know that by creating visibility for yourself, you are serving others in ways that you might not even realize. All right. Do not hide your genius away. Get it out there. All right. So, how do we create more visibility for ourselves? We know it's important. We know that imposter syndrome is a lie, right? We're going to tackle that. We are allowed to have these fraudy feelings and then we're going to let them all melt away. How do you actually show up more? 3 simple things to help build your visibility. Number 1, pick a platform and be consistent. Within the Honeybee Sales Circle, we are actually building 2 sales funnels, 2 platforms. Everyone builds an email newsletter because I think everyone should have an email newsletter within their business. And then they pick one other platform that is their choice, comfortable for them. Could be a podcast, could be Instagram, could be LinkedIn, could be podcast guesting, it could be speaking, whatever it is. Pick one place where your ideal customer or client is and show up. Hang out there. Whatever you pick, just be consistent. The second thing you need to do is you need to share your story and you need to share your expertise. Now, some people lean into being able to share their story, like be personal or, share their expertise more than the other. This is something I really struggled with because I felt that in order to share my stories, I had to be talking about my kid in a way that, I didn't want to exploit him, or I had to talk about my husband and our relationship, which is one of the most sacred things to me. And I really didn't want to do. What I realized is that I could get personal about struggles and stories and what was really going on in the context of my business. I didn't have to divulge anything that was too personal for me. But it is important to tell your stories because people connect with stories. You don't want to just use this platform to sell. You have to share. Okay. And so, how do you do that? Think about the lessons you've learned, the struggles you've overcome. If you want to get personal, I have no problem with you sharing about your personal life online. Make it relevant to what you're doing, but share your stories, share your expertise. And then the third thing that you need to do is you need to make offers and you need to make them often. All right. Visibility is not just visibility for the sake of it. We are trying to sell here. Okay. So if you never talk about what you sell, people will not know that you have something to sell and they won't buy from you. So you have to make your offers consistently. You have to do it in a way that feels right. You have to do it at the right time. We talk a lot about that inside of the sales circle, but you do need to make your offers known. Remember, and this is something that I had to learn for myself, no one is judging you as harshly as you are judging yourself. I am my own worst critic. You are probably your own worst critic. All right. The second thing I want you to realize is that nobody is looking for perfect here. I think we are past the age of, wanting everyone, holding people on this like perfect pedestal. What people are looking for is someone that they can learn from, who shows up, who helps them, who is real, and who is authentic. And nobody is perfect. That shiny veneer is rubbed off. Okay. So here is the one thing I want you to do this week. I want you to pick a platform, any platform, and I want you to post 3 pieces of content that make you a little uncomfortable. 3 posts in 1 week. Don't overthink it. Maybe it's a video, maybe it's a personal story, maybe it's a direct offer, maybe you are taking something that happened to you this week and you're turning it into a best practice or a tip, whatever it might be. Take one step outside of your comfort zone and post it. Do it on the same platform. Don't jump around. Pick one platform, do 3 posts. I talk a lot about how sales is a muscle that you have to exercise and use to make it stronger. Visibility is a muscle too. The more you flex it, the stronger it gets. Tag me when you post your things. I would love to cheer you on and engage with the content. We are all here to support each other and to build each other up. Tell me one thing that you're going to do today, this week, to get visible within your business. And I will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Make Bank. If you like what you've heard, please remember to subscribe, like, and follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Please review and share our show to help spread the word and help your girls make bank. And I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram, or visit honeybeesgroup.co. Until next time, friends.